Good morning. My name is Jaden Kanazawa, and I will be your chairperson for today's fall Ohigan service. First, we will have Sanbujo on page 24 in the Big Book, followed by Hyo Byakumon, then by Sutra Training, Junirai on page 20 in the Little Book, or page 67 in the Big Book.
Today, on this occasion, of the autumn Ohigan service, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuin have reverently come before Omnipotent. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Endo, we reaffirm the theologies. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance.
We will now have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations. Cub Scout Pack 611. Boy Scout Troop 611. Daisy Troop. Brownie Troop. Junior Girl Scout Troop. Cadet Troop. Senior Girl Scout Troop and Ambassador Troop. Lotus Preschool. San Jose Dharma School. San Jose Junior YBA. DSPO. San Jose Betsuin. Now we will have Gatha Hotoke Sama on page 55 of the small book, followed by the golden chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book or page 15 in the big book under golden chain 1. The golden chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Now Rinban Sakamoto will introduce our guests.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Ohigan, Autumn Ohigan service. And for those of you who are joining us over YouTube, welcome as well. It's good to have all of you here on this special major service. We also have, because it's a major service, we are fortunate to have as our guest speaker this morning, Reverend Melissa Opel. She's from the San Francisco Buddhist Temple, which is further up the coast. But Reverend Opel has been a minister at the San Francisco Buddhist Temple. She originates from Kent, Washington, and spent some time there, actually in the area of the White River Buddhist Temple, where we served a while ago. And she grew up in that area and eventually relocated with her family to, I think, Gonzaga University, but that's not it, Spokane, where she grew up and began to take care of the Spokane Buddhist Temple. And she eventually received her Tokudo and her Kyoshi while there in Spokane. And having returned from Kyoto with her Tokudo, and then with her Kyoshi, and then began serving the San Francisco Buddhist Temple. We're very fortunate to have this morning Reverend Melissa Opel as our speaker.
Good morning. Is this the, I need to make the 49ers game crowd? I can't promise to have you there in 6 minutes, so I apologize ahead of time. But I feel like you knew what you're getting yourself into by coming to service. All right. Yes, as Reverend Sakamoto so kindly said, I grew up actually near the White River Buddhist Temple, and I was reminiscing about buying candy at the 7-Eleven that was built over by them. And then I wasn't fortunate enough to go to Gonzaga. That's too expensive. So I went to Eastern Washington University. So I left my home area on a partial music scholarship. I played euphonium, which, if any of you know what that is, you get bonus points. That's why I got a scholarship. Please join me in Gassho. The ability to give without undue thought of gain. When we share with others, we feel happy inside, and we learn a little bit about how Amida Buddha shares love with everyone. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So that first little bit of the quote came from Mr. Rogers. I'm sure nobody up here knows who that is, and that's okay. Maybe an old YouTube video or something. I'm very happy to be here. I've actually never gotten to come and visit the Betsuin before, so this is really wonderful. So thank you, Rinban Sakamoto, for the invitation. Also, Rinban Sakamoto was one of our guest speakers when I was very first starting off as a minister's assistant, and he gave a really wonderful discussion on and used computers as an example, and I still remember at least that it used computers. So I think that that's pretty good that I remember anything at all. So I'm going to start by telling you a little story, because as we're celebrating Ohigan, one of the things that we're celebrating with Ohigan is that it's this time that's supposed to be like our perfect practice. If you're in Japan, this is when things are finally starting to cool down. When I was there for Tokudo, it was like 98 degrees and like 98% humidity. And so I could understand like why people were really longing for the time to be less hot. and so this perfect time, this kind of quote unquote perfect time, becomes a time then when we can settle and reflect. And also, the 6 paramitas often come up as part of Ohigan. And so one of those paramitas is Dana. And Dana is probably, I would say, probably the most important paramita, if I'm going to label one with my human mind. And so Dana, of course, means sharing or giving to others. And so imagine there being a little boy. We're going to call him Kevin for the fun of it. Kevin is having a good day at school. He's enjoying a new toy. And then he looks over and he sees his friend Maria, and she's looking kind of sad. And he figures out that she's forgotten her lunch at home. And of course, Kevin has his lunch, but he also had some extra cookies that his mom had packed. So now, of course, Kevin really wants those cookies for himself. He doesn't want to share those. I understand. Cookies are delicious. And they're, of course, his favorite cookies. They're chocolate chip cookies. And he keeps thinking, like, maybe he wants to help out Maria. And so he's thinking about those cookies. He's thinking about eating the cookies for himself. He's thinking about sharing them. And he decides to walk over, and he says, "Hey, Maria, would you like some of my cookies?" And her face lit up with the biggest smile, and she says, "Really? Thanks so much, Kevin. I really appreciate that." And when Kevin saw how happy Maria had become, something amazing happened. He actually felt happier than if he had eaten the cookies all by himself. And that warm and happy feeling that was in Kevin's heart, that's something that we call Dana. It's something that we can relate to Dana. And now Dana doesn't just mean giving away your toys or your lunch. Dana can be lots of different things. So we can do things like share. So we can share our toys, we can share our snacks, our art supplies. We can share our time by helping a friend or playing with someone who's lonely. I think this sharing our time is particularly important for many people, where they feel most loved and cared for by undivided attention. So when we talk about time, it's not just sitting in a room playing on our phones at the same time. It's actually engaging. It's being present with somebody. When we share our kindness, we're using gentle words. We're giving hugs if we feel like giving them, and we want to make sure the other person wants them. We want to teach consent. And then we also are helping someone who is hurt. I was recently at an event for our Japanese consul was being sent back to Japan to serve in Tokyo. And while we were enjoying his going away party, a man just suddenly collapsed in this like very loud thud. And as a minister, I was standing there and I was like, what can I do to help? I'm not the person to help in that time, but there were doctors that were there and came over and helped. And so they stopped what they were doing and made sure to help the gentleman, and he was okay. But, it's also knowing what our skills are and how we can help. But we can always help by giving a big smile and letting people know we're thinking about them. We can share our attention by really listening when someone's talking to you. Again, it's probably best to put the phone down for this. I know it's hard. And then sharing your smile. Sometimes just being happy around others makes them happy too. I think when we look at pictures and art and statues of the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he always has this sort of little upturned smile in the corner of his eyes. So I like to tell my Dharma school kids to smile like the Buddha. So think about the Buddha living in your chest and that little smile that he has. And when you think about his little smile, you can't help but smile too. And now I promise this works, no matter how woo-woo it sounds. My wife and I sat down one day and we played a game of, do you have the Buddha inside or not? I just made that up. I don't know what we called it. And so Becca would look at me, and then I would say, you're thinking about the Buddha in your chest. And she'd say, yeah, how did you know? And you could see, like, she would just get this smile on her face, this real subtle smile. And we would play the game back and forth, and, like, we were, like, 99.9% accurate. So when we think on the Buddha and think about his smiling face, that's something that even changes our body. I think the coolest thing about Dana is that when you give something good to someone else, you don't lose anything. Instead, you actually get something back. You get that warm, happy feeling inside. Another way to think about it is, have you ever seen that magic trick where the magician pulls more and more scarves out of their arm? Or Dana is kind of like that. When you share kindness, you don't run out of kindness. When you share happiness, you don't become less happy. And when you share love, you don't have less love. In fact, the opposite happens. The more you share these good things, the more of them you seem to have. And so it's like magic, but it's true and real. You know how we talk about Amida Buddha? Amida Buddha has the biggest heart in the whole universe. Amida Buddha's heart is so big that there's room in it for every single person, every animal, every living thing, everywhere. And you know what? Amida Buddha shares that big love with all of us, all the time. Even when we're grumpy, even when we make mistakes, and even when we're not being our best selves, Amida Buddha keeps sharing love with us. We're always embraced unconditionally. And when we practice Dana, when we share with others, we're learning to have hearts a little more like Amida Buddha's heart. Not because we have to, but because it feels good and because it makes the world a happier place. And so look around the room. Do you see how the temple works here? Everyone shares to make this a special place. So some people here are able to share their money. And this is what keeps the lights on. It keeps employees paid. It keeps the building clean and allows us to share many different kinds of programs with the Sangha. Some people share their time to teach Dharma school. You guys are bodhisattvas all the time. Or sometimes people help prepare food for events. Some people share their voices by singing or reading during service, and some people share by setting up chairs or cleaning up after parties. And all of you share by being here, by listening, by being part of our temple family. When everyone shares a little bit, amazing things happen. We have this beautiful place to come together. We have teachers to learn from. We have friends to play with. And we have a place where we can learn about the Buddha's teachings. So as we think about practicing Dana this week, here are some things to consider. So when you're at home, you can help your family without being asked. Your mom might think you're sick if you unload the dishwasher without being asked, so it's a good way to trick her in a good way. Share your toys nicely with your siblings or your friends. Use kind words, especially when someone is feeling sad. Help with chores cheerfully, and that does mean cleaning your room. Unless you're lucky like me, my grandmother cleaned my room for me, so I was very spoiled. The things that you can do at school, you can help a classmate who is struggling with something. You can include someone who looks lonely at recess or doesn't have somebody to eat lunch with. I think, again, this one is really important, to include people who are being left out. That's one of the most special ways that we can help people. We can help them by letting them feel like they belong, just like we belong in Amida's embrace. We can also share our supplies with someone who forgot theirs, or stand up for someone who is being teased. At the temple, we can help clean up after Dharma school, be kind to the younger kids, listen carefully when others are talking, and help our teachers by following directions the first time. And the biggest secret about Dana, you can't do it wrong. Even if you share something small, even if you're nervous about it, even if you're not sure how, anytime you try to be kind or helpful, you're practicing Dana. And remember, just like Kevin with his cookies, when you practice Dana, you'll probably discover that it makes you feel good. The good feeling is a little thank you from your heart for doing something kind. When we say Namo Amida Butsu, we're saying thank you to Amida Buddha for sharing so much love with us. And when we practice Dana, we're sharing some of that love with other people. So let's practice Dana. Let's practice. Not because we have to, but because it feels good and because it makes our world a little bit brighter and happier. And that's something that we can always use. So let's all say Namo Amida Butsu together one more time. And as we do, let's think about all the ways we can share kindness this week. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, and I hope you make your 49ers game.
Thank you to Reverend Opel. Please rise to sing the Gatha Farewell on page 45, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the Little Book or page 15 in the Big Book.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Buddha's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namu Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namu Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namu Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namu Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way to freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble paths every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Jones, Reverend Opel, Mr. Akizuki, and to organist Miss Jones and AV Tech Mr. Endo. Are there any announcements? I have an announcement myself. So San Jose Taiko will be performing at Rhythm Spirit this year, October 18th at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. It will be at the Campbell Heritage Theater. To scan the QR code for tickets, you can go to their Instagram page, San Jose Taiko, to find the flyer, or you can come see me after today's service if there's any questions.
Just a reminder that Rinban Sakamoto's retirement party is Saturday, November 1st, 11:30 to 3. You must RSVP either using the QR code or sign up in the office. Please note that space is limited, and even though we've advertised the deadline date as October something or October 12th, it is highly likely that we will fill capacity before then. So please, please, please RSVP as soon as possible. The other thing is we are also selling calendars out in front of the garden. It's a calendar of photographs done by sensei. So I think you want to take a look, stop at the desk and talk to them about ordering your copy. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Trevor Fujimoto. I'm from the Scout Troop 611. And on Saturday, October 4th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to be holding a free electronic waste collection event. It'll be across the street in the parking lot. We'll be accepting things like wire and cabling, desktops, laptops, televisions, printers. There are copies of this flyer at the back if you want the full list of what we will and will not take. We hope to see you there. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I have 3 announcements, okay? This Tuesday, BWA, and this is all for BWA. We're a fun club, okay? So think about joining us. Everybody's welcome. Anyway, first one, announcement is Tuesday, we have our movie day. And we're going to go see Downton Abbey, the final, or grand finale, I think is the name of the movie. And it should be an interesting movie. And it's the last one of a series of 3 movies that they have. Okay? So that's at 1 o'clock at the Campbell Theater off Winchester. And it's $6 if you go and pay at the door. Okay, we'll be there, so come join us. We also will be going for lunch beforehand at 11:30 at the Luigi's, which is right nearby to the theater. Then the next one is next week, Sunday, is our soul line dancing class. Join us. We have a lot of fun. It's good exercise. Okay, and then the last one is in October 23rd, which is a Thursday, is Senior Safari Day at Happy Hollow. And if you're 50 years and older, it's free admission, okay? And parking, free parking. And so you have to come between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to get admitted free and parking. Okay, so join us. It should be interesting to go and just have fun with the animals. Okay, thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know if you had a question.
As we close, please join us. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good job. Good morning. 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 Good morning.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So smaller than a tuba,
Yeah.
bigger than a trunk.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a baby tuba. It's not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baritone is out like the sousaphone, but the euphonium is straight up. Like a concert.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Bob. Good morning. This is our Dharma school superintendent, Mikame. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Morning. You're our new editor. Good morning. And I was told that, good morning, that you're much more stringent about deadlines. Good morning. That's the word. That's for me. I know.
Probably.
I'm probably the only one. Good morning. Well, you'll have to deal with me only twice. October.
Yeah, it's like right across the street. That's the building. Kind of break down later this year on the replacement.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
I am. It's been a long time coming.
Knock out a beat.
Watch the ladders.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Steve Onishi, and I'll be your chairperson for today's special service. Just a reminder, again, there's no food or drinks in the Hondo, and I'm sure everyone knows that, and please silence your cell phones. We will begin this morning's service with Sanbujo on page 24 in the large service book, followed by the Hyop-byokuman, and then the Sutra chanting Junirai on page 20 in the small service book, and 68 in the large service book.
Today, on this occasion of the Autumn Ohigan service, the member of the San Jose Buddhist Church, Betsuin, have reverently come before me, the Buddha, with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Endo. We reaffirm the three energies. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Amen.
We will now have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations: Adult Buddhist Association, ABA, Morgan Hill Hawaii, the Buddhist Women's Association, BWA, and the San Jose Betsuin. Maybe that's me. Now will everyone rise for the Gatha, the Texture of Life, on page 94 in the small Dharma School service book, and then remain standing for the Three Treasures, which is on page 3 in the small Dharma School service book.
The texture of the life to be, we weave in colors all our own, and in the realm of destiny we reap as we have sown. We make ourselves the joys and fears with which the coming life is, and fill alone our future spheres with sunshine or with shade. We live our present lives again with memory warm or coldly dim. The pictures of the past remain, man's work shall follow him. If you'll please join now in the reading of the Three Treasures on page 3 of the Dharma School service book. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the Three Treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of thy doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Thank you. Please be seated.
And now Rinban Sakamoto will introduce our special guest speaker today.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's service, and those of you who are joining us on YouTube, welcome. This morning we're observing our autumn Ohigan service. Good to see so many here joining us for this important service. Our guest speaker for today is Reverend Melissa Opel of the San Francisco Buddhist Temple. Reverend Opel was born in Washington, in the area of Kent, where the White River Buddhist Temple is located. Auburn is where the temple is located. And so we actually, when we served at the White River Buddhist Temple, it was in a similar area that she grew up in. And after a while, her family moved to the Spokane area of Washington, where she served as a minister assistant of the Spokane Buddhist Temple under the supervision of Rinban Kusunoki of the Seattle Buddhist Temple. And she, while there, she studied for her Tokudo and Kyoshi, receiving ordination for Tokudo and of Kyoshi, and serving the Spokane Buddhist Temple. She is now the head minister of the San Francisco Buddhist Temple, where she has been serving these past few years. We were fortunate to have with us, again, Reverend Melissa Opel for this morning's service.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming to hear the Dharma today. Every day that we hear the Dharma is a special day. At least I think so. All right. Please join me in Kansho. When we entrust ourselves to the Buddha's primal vow, we are like travelers who have found the most reliable guide for a difficult journey. We need not worry about losing our way, for the Buddha's compassion never fails to lead us home. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Well, thank you again so much for having me. I'm still, I just started my third year at BCSF, and I'm still in awe of how many temples are in driving distance. So to help kind of put it in perspective, Spokane, the closest temple, is 250 miles away. So it's a 4.5-hour drive. So when I did my Tokudo and Kiyoshi, I would drive over on a Saturday morning, study with Kusunoki sensei, have lunch with my parents, and then drive back that night so I could be at the temple on Sunday to do service. So once Star Trek gets the teleporting figured out, I think it'll make life a lot easier. But we're so lucky here in the Bay to have so many wonderful temples and get to hear the Dharma in lots of different ways from different folks. So thank you again to Reverend Sakamoto for inviting me here to the Betsuin. This is my first time here as well, so it's a beautiful temple. It was so nice to get to see it. I was teasing the 9:30 group that they were probably there because the 49ers game started at 10. So I'm thinking maybe you're not football fans, or like you're just chill about the whole thing. So, and then I will apologize too. I'm a little hoarse. I went to the Dodgers-Giants game Friday night, which was the better one to go to. And so, obviously when Patrick Bailey hit a walk-off grand slam, there was some screaming involved. So go Giants. If you're a Dodgers fan, it's okay, I'll still talk to you. So as a minister, perhaps one of the most difficulties of there's lots of difficulties, but the one that keeps me up at night sometimes is having to return to doing Dharma talks for our special observances. Because every year we have to find new meaning in our observances that we have, and to have a new perspective. And with Ohigan, it's a little worse because we have to do it twice a year. So, but I got lucky as I was preparing for today's service. I had this embarrassing story about myself that came to mind, and it made me think on it a little deeper. And for me, these moments end up offering like the best insight into my own spiritual life and my incredibly foolish nature. In this particular event, my wife Becca and I had just finished something at the Mountain View Temple, and we're planning to run some errands to exchange some clothes at a store and grab a late lunch. And so we don't get out of the city as much as we probably should, and there's just things that aren't in San Francisco that are out here to be able to go to. And so, this was just as much of a practical errand as it was as a time to hang out and spend a little time together. And since I needed to charge my phone anyway, we decided to use my GPS on the way home, even though my wife was driving. So I plugged in the address of the store that we were going to visit, and we started driving. But as we drove, something felt very wrong. You know how you have that little gut thing that tells you this is not something you should probably check again. And so we kept waiting to get on the freeway, but my GPS kept taking us through back roads and surface streets. And we kind of thought, oh, maybe it's just there's an accident and it's trying to save us time. And so we decided to go to a different store location. And so typed that in, but even then the drive seemed to take forever. When we finally arrived and finished shopping, I put in directions to head home to San Francisco, and my GPS cheerfully informed me that it would take us 3 hours to get home. I was like, 3 hours? No. And so, I'm thinking there's no way, 3 hours. So Becca, being the smarter of the two of us, pulled up the directions on her phone, and it showed that we would be just an hour away from home. So we used her phone. And so I was looking at my phone, and I discovered I had set my GPS to avoid freeways all entirely. And we'd been taking the scenic route to everywhere, just adding hours to what should have been really simple trips. And it was 100% my fault. I can't even blame it on technology. This was all my stupidity. I had changed it a few days before so that I could go a back route to a hospice center to visit one of my temple members, and I forgot to set it back to the freeway. And that moment of recognizing how quickly I can be the one to lead myself down a harder path and accepting clearer guidance reminded me of something fundamental about our Jodo Shinshu path, especially as we observe Ohigan. And this time when we reflect on crossing from this shore of confusion to the other shore of enlightenment. And so Ohigan, as you may know, means the other shore, that place of awakening we long to reach. And it occurs twice yearly, once in the autumn and once in the spring. And then it's this perfect time of when day and night achieve perfect balance and is a time of study and reflection. And our ancestors recognized something profound in this natural harmony. Just as the earth finds equilibrium between light and darkness, we too are called to find balance in our spiritual lives. But here's where our Jodo Shinshu understanding offers a unique perspective. We're not trying to create this balance through our own effort. We're not trying to create this balance to walk like some spiritual tightrope walker. Instead, we're learning to trust in the guidance that's already been provided for us. And so think of it this way. When you take a wrong turn while using your GPS, it doesn't typically scold you for making wrong turns. I say typically because sometimes it's return to the path, return to the path. And I'm like, do you not want to, can you not tell that's what I'm trying to do? And then we have conversations that I shouldn't have with the GPS. And instead, for the most part, it recalculates the route, and it'll say, turn left in 500 feet to get back on track. And the Buddha's guidance works very similarly. No matter how far we've wandered from the path, we have teachings that continue to call us back, that continue to show us the way home. So traditionally, Ohigan has been associated with the 6 paramitas. And these 6 perfections are supposed to carry us across the other shore. And so when they're practiced, these 6 paramitas are dana, which is generosity of spirit and resources. Sila, or ethical conduct, is living with integrity and kindness. Kasante, patience, is enduring difficulties with grace. Virya, energetic effort, applying ourselves wholeheartedly to good works. Jnana, meditation, cultivating mindfulness and concentration. And prajna, wisdom, seeing reality clearly beyond our delusions. Now, these are beautiful ideals. I don't want to dismiss them. They represent the best of our human aspiration. But if I'm honest, how many of us have truly even mastered one of these paramitas? Yeah, I'm at 0 still. So just to answer the question in case you're on your seat wondering. And I think about my own attempts at patience. And so patience is not my strong suit. I get very talkative while I'm driving. I have lots of things to say. When the internet slows down and I'm trying to work on something, like that happened this week, I was losing my patience. And I think it's really funny to lose your patience while you're writing a Dharma talk. There's some irony in that that's not lost. Or consider generosity. You know, I'm easily very generous when I'm feeling good, when things are going well, when I have plenty to give. But catch me on a stressful day when I'm running late and someone asks for help, and suddenly my generosity has some pretty clear limits. You know, and that's hard, right? Then I feel bad about it later. And this is where Shinran Shonen's insight becomes revolutionary. He looked at these traditional practices and said, essentially something to the effect of like, these are wonderful, but let's be realistic about our human nature. And here's what Shinran discovered, and what transformed not just his life, but the entire trajectory of Pure Land Buddhism. Amida Buddha has already perfected these paramitas on our behalf. We don't need to somehow achieve spiritual perfection to reach the other shore. Instead, we need to learn to entrust to the perfect guidance that's already available to us. It's like having the world's most advanced GPS system, created by someone who knows every possible route, every potential obstacle, every shortcut and scenic detour, and every mistake a human can make. So this GPS is the one that will tell you, like, no, not that bear right, that bear right. Because there's always those roads that you're like, am I supposed to go this way? Or this GPS will take you the correct place every single time. And this is our spiritual navigation system, our Namo Amida Butsu. Maybe we can change it to NAB, our NAB system. And it doesn't require us to already know the way. It only requires us to trust it enough to actually follow its guidance. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu, we're essentially saying, I trust this guidance. I surrender my stubborn insistence on finding my own way, and I'm going to actually accept the path that's been prepared for me. Of course, the more experience we have, the easier this becomes to do. And this doesn't mean we become passive. There's nothing passive about Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. When we accept the GPS directions, we still have to drive the car, make the turns, and pay attention to the road. But we're no longer anxiously trying to figure out the route by ourselves. We can relax into the journey, confident that we are being guided by someone with far better knowledge than our own. So what does this look like in practical terms? How do we live this understanding of Ohigan in our everyday lives? Well, first, it means we have to stop beating ourselves up for not being perfect Buddhists. I don't know if that keeps you up at night, or you're just like, oh, I'm not the perfect Buddhist. I used to think I was failing at Buddhism every time I lost my temper, or I felt jealous, or I acted selfishly. And it would really send me into like a real sadness of like, how could I behave that way? I'm studying to be a minister. And now when I lose it, I'm like, oh, please don't let any of my Sangha members see what I just did. And now I mostly understand that recognizing these limitations, this is why we call ourselves Bambu, or a foolish being. It's actually the beginning of wisdom to recognize this in ourselves. So when I snapped at that slow internet connection, instead of spiraling into guilt about my lack of patience, instead I could have simply noticed, oh, there I go again. There goes Melissa. And thank goodness for Amida's unconditional embrace, because I needed it. And this isn't about excusing the bad behaviors, but about finding a more skillful way to work with our human imperfections. The second is it means we can engage in good works. The paramitas not as requirements for liberation, but as expressions of gratitude. When I help a neighbor, when I practice my chanting, or try to speak more kindly, I'm not earning my way to the Pure Land. I'm responding to the incredible gift of unconditional acceptance I've already received. And so if we think about it this way, when someone does something truly kind for you, your natural response is to want to do something kind in return. That's how the paramitas function in Jodo Shinshu. They're not spiritual homework assignments. They're love letters written in response to an amazing act of compassion. And there's another dimension to this that I think is particularly relevant as we gather today. We don't have to navigate this path alone. Your Sangha, this community, functions like a network of fellow travelers, all using the same reliable GPS system. When one of us struggles to hear the Buddha's guidance clearly, we have each other to help point the way. But be careful about this, because we always think that we've got it and can spot it easier in other people. But when someone in our community is going through a difficult time, we can offer the kind of practical support that reflects Amita's compassion. Maybe we drop off a meal or just call and see how they're doing. And I think about our many members who spend time caring for the temple and the temple's community. They're not trying to earn merit through these actions. They're simply allowing Amita's generosity to flow through them to others. It's their way of saying thank you to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And this is how the Ohigan spirit manifests in community life. We support each other's journey to the other shore, not by judging each other's progress, but by offering whatever help and encouragement we can along the way. It also means that all gifts of gratitude are meaningful, whether we are sweeping the floor or chairing a committee. And here's something beautiful about the Buddha's GPS that I've only recently begun to understand. The destination isn't actually somewhere else. The Pure Land isn't a distant paradise we reach after death if we've been good enough. It's the recognition that we've been embraced by infinite compassion all along. It's like spending hours driving around lost, only to discover that our destination was visible from where we started. We just hadn't learned to see it yet. So the journey is about getting somewhere else. It's about recognizing where we already are. So since I've already shared one embarrassing story about myself, I'll share one more. When I received my Tokudo ordination, my wife flew up as I was getting out, and we spent some days in Kyoto and Nara, and then we went to Osaka. And so I was still kind of recovering from Tokudo ordination, and so there was this little karaoke bar that was made in the theme of Family Guy, for anybody that's familiar with the cartoon. I was pretty excited about it. And so we went and we did karaoke, and there might have been one too many drinks had while relaxing. I'm not going to say how much. But when we left the karaoke bar, we couldn't find our hotel. And so, and neither of us thought to turn on the GPS. So we're wandering around like the little streets of Osaka, and my wife finally kind of like loses it. And she's like, I need you to figure out how to get us home, because I'm the one that's not as directionally challenged. It's like the only thing I bring to our marriage. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. So I straightened up, I focused, and I eventually got us back to our hotel. The next morning when we were leaving the hotel for breakfast, I turned to my right and saw the sign for the karaoke bar that we were at. And this is how our conditioning, our causes and conditions, sometimes stop us from being able to see what's so clearly in front of us. And so when this realization dawns, and it happens gradually in moments of clarity scattered throughout our ordinary lives, we understand what Shinran meant when he spoke of being made to reside in the stage of the truly settled. We're not constantly anxious about whether we're taking the most efficient spiritual route anymore. We know we're being guided by infinite wisdom and compassion. It's like finally discovering that avoids freeway setting on our GPS and realizing how much easier our journey can be when we trust the most direct guidance available to us. So as we celebrate the fall Ohigan, this, with its natural balance of day and night, how do we find balance in our own lives? Not by trying to achieve some perfect equilibrium through our own efforts, but by learning to trust the guidance that never fails. When we're overwhelmed by the challenges of modern life, we can remember that we don't have to figure everything out ourselves. When we're disappointed by our own limitations, we can take refuge in the understanding that our worth doesn't depend on our perfection, thank goodness. When we're worried about the future, we can find confidence in the promise that we're being guided by wisdom far greater than our own. And again, this doesn't mean we become complacent or stop trying to grow, but our growth happens within the context of acceptance, not anxiety. We practice the paramitas not to earn something, but to express something, gratitude. And so as I close, I want to return to that image of the GPS. The most sophisticated navigation system in the world is useless if we don't turn it on. and listen to its directions. Similarly, Amida's perfect guidance is always available, but we need to be willing to receive it. This is the invitation of Ohigan, to stop trying so hard to find our own way and instead learn to trust the path that's been given to us freely, to let go of the anxiety of spiritual self-improvement and rest in the confidence of being unconditionally accepted, to join our voices with countless others in gratitude, saying Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for this guidance. Thank you for this path. And thank you for never giving up on us. The other shore isn't somewhere we need to go to through perfect practice. It's where we discover where we've been all along, held in the embrace of boundless compassion. This understanding transforms not just how we think about enlightenment, but how we live each day, with less anxiety, more gratitude, and a growing confidence that we're exactly where we need to be. In the season of natural balance, may we find the spiritual balance that comes not from our own efforts, but from trusting in the perfect wisdom and compassion that guides us home. Please join me in Gassho. When we entrust ourselves to the Buddha's primal vow, we are like travelers who have found the most reliable guide for a difficult journey. We need not worry about losing our way, for the Buddha's compassion never fails to lead us home. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Opel. Your GPS, sorry to get off track here, but your GPS story reminded me of a story that I had. I used to take these walks, and there's this path along by the San Jose airport. I used to walk along there during lunch. And I was walking down this one time, and all of a sudden there's this car coming up. And people are getting out of the way. It's like he was just driving up this walking path. So I stopped him, and I say, hey, what are you doing here? This isn't a road. He goes, oh, that's on my GPS. So we look at his GPS, and he had the setting on walker, not driving. So you definitely have to pay attention to the technology. Anyway, please rise. Let's see, for the Gatha Ondokusan II on page 76 in the small Dharma School service book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
At this point, are there any announcements?
Just as a reminder, Rinban Sakamoto's retirement party is Saturday, November 1st from 11:30 to 3. You must RSVP either using the QR code or sign up in the office. Please note that space is limited, and even though we said the deadline was October the 12th, it is very likely that we will hit capacity before then, and we will have to turn people away. So please register RSVP as soon as possible. The other thing is if some of you may have noticed, there's a table out front that two of our ladies are sitting at. We are selling calendars of photographs that Rinban Sakamoto has taken over the years, and this calendar is for 2026, so please stop by the table for more information. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jeannie Nakano, representing the Sangha Support Committee and the Refreshments Committee. Some of you know our leading lady, Emi Tsutsumi, fell over a week ago, and she broke her right hand. So not only does she need 4 to 6 weeks to recuperate, but she cannot drive. So we have stepped up because we didn't want her to worry. Joyce Iwasaki, who is our partner, and I have told Emmy that we have it under control. So we have all of the Sundays filled through September and October, except for 2. That's where I would like your help. So I have a sign-up sheet. It'll be in the refreshments area. So if you know your calendar, September 28th, which is in 2 weeks, and October 12th. We could use your help. So I hope some of you can help us. Thank you. And then also Joyce has found a card for Emmy, and you will also come to refreshments and sign it. Write a little short note. It says, more couch, less ouch. Hope you're getting lots of rest and feeling better. So that was our goal. You know, Emmy, even though she's hurting, she'll still come. But we insisted that we want her to heal completely. So please help us if you can. Thank you.
Hi, it's Gilbert the Greeter again. Today, we would like to welcome our new friend, Sherry. Stand up so we know. Okay. Also, we have Hamud and Elisa in the back. Welcome to our temple. After the service, we're going to have a reception in the annex, and so please, our member, be interfaced with our new friend. Also, today, be seated. Today, I'm so happy to see all our new friends from last week returning today. So hope we'll see you in, what do I say, permanently? No, nothing, everything is impermanent. Well, we'd like to see you again anyway. So, and for our new friend, probably you got lost during the survey with all lots of terminology. If you'd like to learn more, myself or minister or knowledgeable friend can fill in. About 5 minutes, we can tell you what's Gassho, what's Amida Buddha. Okay, so just ask question. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Harriet Kawamata representing Eco Sangha, and we have plans that we were going to have a repair cafe eventually, and so that's a place where people could possibly come here maybe every 3 months and get things repaired so they don't end up in the landfill. So what I'm asking is if anybody here knows how to repair jewelry, ojuzus, if they know how to do woodworking, or if they know how to repair bicycles, come in and let me know. Or Al Hiranaga, I don't know if you know him, he's way back there, I think today. Yay. Yeah, so we'd really appreciate your help. Or if you know how to repair anything else. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to thank Rinban Sakamoto, our special guest, Reverend Opel. Reverend Mikame, who will be online, Reverend Jones, Dennis Akizuki, our organist Elaine Jones, and our AV tech Paul Endo. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning at this special service. We will now have closing gassho, and join us for refreshments in the multipurpose room, and afterwards please come forward for Oshoko.
Gassho, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Steve.
I was really bummed. Well, most of the time I already drive, but
With her GPS.
thank you so much. I appreciate Oh, yes, yes. Very. Oh, thank you. You have such a kind, smiley face. It's nice to see in the song. Very comforting. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I know, surprise.
She asked me what is it. You know about this? Who would have scheduled it? It's been in the Dharma for a while. Somebody from Equinox I remember seeing it, and I don't remember when. She says it's today. True, so 11 o'clock.
shortly during the Obon at San
Oh yeah,
Francisco.
wonderful.
So there are a few of us there. Yeah.
Oh, did you have a good time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very different than your guys' here. Much smaller.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
I love it. I had more experience yesterday. I programmed my son's previous address chanting. He was trying to pull me back.
thank you very much. I enjoyed your very much.
Take care.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, this is a tokai. It's a really nice service.
Oh, very cool. It's very cute. I like it. It's adorable. Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay if I give you a hug?
No, we were so excited when we were coming down. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
I'm joking.
I think we've met at a service, right?
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause, my daughter and I went to a couple services, like hanging in this service.
Oh, yeah.
We were,
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you. How are you doing? Good.
Do you know anything about June?
He's still, he's still alive and hanging in there. His hearing's getting worse and worse and worse. I'm supposed to, I think I'm going in April, so I'll check in on him too, but everything's going okay with June. So he's still
good.
he's got the vinegar in there, so.
Yeah, I heard about his cooking.
Yes, his ramen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Roast your crops. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
very,
you.
very
Appreciate
good.
it.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sensei. Okay, I know you're probably getting tired of hearing my announcements.
No.
We're getting worried, that's why.
No wonder my husband's relatives
Oh, wonderful. The Maggie's. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, we love having them.
No wonder they go. Thank you, sis. I can't wait to see your camera.
Thank you.
Good morning.
The old school. All right.
I use maps.
Yes. They won't steer you wrong.
I don't have the technology like you do.
And congratulations. Groundbreaking. Actually,
I'm Gilbert.
Hi, Gilbert.
I'm
Nice to meet you.
one of the
yes,
few
a contractor.
people know something about Washington
Everything.
State.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I've been
Wonderful.
living in Tri-City for many
Right.
years, worked there.
Oh, okay.
And that new friend with the name is Sherry, I said, that's a good coffee chain.
Oh.
The name, she, yeah, I know that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And this Hawaiian, they don't know what the coffee shop and Sherry. No, you don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then of course that
This is my first time back.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm so happy.
we have to be somebody from
Oh,
Washington who can talk about
absolutely.
Washington State. That can be Shimura.
Yeah.
So I was telling this gentleman, I was just talking to you, that
I
I
won't
was
order
at
any
a book
open
reading
temple today.
down the block in another
Yeah,
church
I have to go and then
that Reverend Michael was at.
Matthew is
wonderful.
down here.
And it was an
And
author
then
he wrote a
we
book
have
called
a
American
video
Teenagers.
service.
He did a study on transients.
Oh.
And
you,
it was,
Gilbert.
it was a
Okay,
great
thank you. I won't be
experience
here
that night.
next-
And then
Okay,
Reverend Michael
then I'll.
started talking about
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in philosophy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's little like things that have come into my life
And
that
I bet you're
like,
looking,
tell
because
me,
that date gets
go
closer,
check
many
out,
of us are
go
set
check
out
out.
on it.
So,
When I very first came to the temple in Spokane,
Looking forward to it
I
after.
had a similar experience. I was recommended to it by my therapist. She was like, "You're a spiritual person. You sound like a Buddhist.
I'll
Your
miss you,
homework is
sad.
at the temple."
I'm
And
happy for you.
when I got
Be
there,
able to, I know this
there
is
was
not,
a
be able to rest,
married
well-deserved
couple
rest.
that were sitting towards the front, and like we actually
Not sure how much rest it makes us though.
And like for me, I was raised Catholic.
Yeah, my
and I was in the evangelical church.
I'm recovering.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
Yeah, that good.
Still pushing that guilt out.
After a
And
year, then maybe.
just seeing that, people were
There's
treating
so many temples down there that,
just
yeah.
regular Sangha members.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, it made me want to come. And so, yeah, the inclusive nature of our school of Buddhism is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very what? I hate where our society's going right now, and it just I feel like I want to fill myself with something other than just the negativity.
Well, you're in a good spot. You know, Sakamoto II is a wonderful minister. You know, I'm going to get him for a little bit. And then the replacement minister, Reverend Adams, was my supervising minister my first year. He's also incredibly wonderful. So I think that you're in a great place here in San Jose. So I hope it feels like a good fit for you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
you
much.
bet.
So,
And what was your name?
My name is Sherry.
Sherry,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you. So nice meeting you.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I do like first grade down to school. So
Oh,
I think
wonderful.
That was perfect, like kind of, got a lot done. Like, okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
In class. Yeah.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
what we want to hear.
Thank you very
The
much.
kids still terrify me a little bit. So, we only have dogs, and they sort of talk back, but not. You just put them in their kennel. You can't do that with a child, apparently.
It's frowned
I hear it's frowned upon.
Give them an iPad or put them in front of the
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's kind of the same.
Digital prison.
I just want to say hi. I came and visited you guys for one.
Yeah, I was going to say you look familiar.
A couple of us. That was great. You guys are so welcome. Great community.
Oh, thank you.
And then Reverend, was it that gave us that tour? I forgot her name.
Oh, probably Reverend Donald or Reverend Elaine?
Yeah, Reverend Elaine.
Yeah.
She was so generous with her time, showing us all around. It was really wonderful. We had a great conversation.
He's going to start pretty soon.
Really made a great impression on us.
Oh, wonderful.
And then she told us, I think we might have that you're going to be down here.
Yeah.
So I just happened to catch the first one. My name is Kevin, so I was thinking about
Oh, shit, the
story.
You're Cookie
I
Kevin.
didn't want to share I really felt that, though.
Oh,
So
yeah.
great. And to see the both talks, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really
A lot to
appreciate
think
that.
about coming back to the path.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love the time of balance.
Yeah, it reminds us, right? So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Great to see you.
absolutely. Yeah, it was good to see you too again. Thank you.
Dennis Akizuki.
Hi, Dennis. Nice to meet you.
Wonderful talk. Yeah. We actually did.
Go with Dennis refreshments because they come and sense it.
Oh, well, I was going to stay for that too.
Will you stay for that?
I can figure myself out. Yeah.
Will you be able to stay for a while?
Yeah, I can stay for a little bit for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So just over here.
Yeah.
All right. I'll find it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
皆さんこんにちは。今月もサンノゼ別院の日本語講座にお参りくださいましてありがとうございます。私はサンノゼ別院の開教師の三亀と申します。日本のお寺からこうしてレコーディングさせていただいてお勤めをさせていただいております。この日本語講座ですけれども、お勤め、じゅうせいげのお勤めをご一緒に、させていただいた後、三期右衛門、第三問を皆さんで拝読させていただきます。その後に、少しばかり私の方からお話をさせていただくという流れとなっております。それでは最初にじゅうせいげのお勤め、お手持ちのお経本でじゅうせいげのページを開いて、よろしかったらご一緒にお唱えください。ご一緒に合唱、お念仏申しましょう。ナマンダー仏ナマンダー仏ナマンダー仏ナマンダー仏。
いしむ
はい、ありがとうございます。そうしましたらご一緒に三期右衛門第三問のページを開いていただいて、読んでいただければと思います。第三問、三期右衛門。人参受け方し今すでに浮く。仏法聞き方し今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん。大衆もろともに四神に参謀に帰依し立てまつるべし。自ら仏に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに大道を大義して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに深く胸像に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも愛おうことかたし、我今検問し自治することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を消し立てまつらん。ナマンダーブツナンマンダブツナンマンダブツナン。ありがとうございました。そうしましたら少しばかりお話をさせていただきたいと思います。9月になりましたね。もうあっという間に今年もあと3ヶ月ぐらいですかね、終わってしまいますね。早い。9月といいますとお彼岸がありまして、暑い夏から涼しい秋へとのね季節の変わり目となるね、そんな時期であります。そのお彼岸にちなんで少しばかりお話をさせていただきたいと思います。お彼岸というのはもともと東彼岸という言葉ですね。東彼岸という言葉の略で、こちらの彼岸というのは仏様のお悟りの世界、 お浄土のことを指しています。そのお浄土へ至る道ということをね、指し示すそういうお言葉でありまして、お彼岸の時期に、亡き方に手を合わせるご縁を通して生きている私がその彼岸仏様の国に至る道というのをね聞かせていただく大事なご縁となる、ご法縁です。よく、人生は旅に例えられます。皆さんはどうでしょうか。これなんで人生は旅に例えられるかなっていうふうに考えた時に、きっと人生というのはねこう常に変化をしていて、多くの出会いだったり発見を通して、成長変化を遂げていくこの過程というのが、いろんな風景を見ていろんな人と出会って価値観が変わっていったりとかねする旅の姿と重なるからなのかなというふうに思います。最近私事で言いますと、日本で、旅行するとき旅をするとき交通手段はバスが多いですね。バスに乗ることが多いです。でほとんど毎回のことなんですけどね、バスで隣り合わせに座った方、そしてバスを待っている列で私が話しかけた人と、その出発点から最終の終点までずっと話し込むということがね多々続いております。本当に毎回ぐらい続いてるんですけど、アメリカに行く前はこんなことはあんまなかったんですけど、アメリカから帰ってきたらですね、やっぱりちょっと日本のバス事情交通事情とかね、日本のバスの乗り場とかいろいろね変わってたりするので、躊躇なく私はね人に話しかけたりして聞くようになっていたんです。そしてこれはアメリカのカリフォルニアの特徴かもしれないんですが、知らない人にでも結構気軽にお話しされますよね。あの感じが少し自分の中で好きで癖になっていたのか、そうやってね聞いたらありがたいことに優しく教えてくださって、ありがとうございましたって言った後にね、どちらからいらしたんですかっていうふうに話がこう続いていくわけなんです。ですからね、そういう楽しく終点までずっとお話しするような出会いに恵まれるようになってて、旅ってこういうふうにね道中いろんな出会いがあってね楽しいもんだなって今更思うことがあります。皆さんは最近いつ旅に行かれたでしょうか。私の最近の旅はですね、愛知県の西尾市、妹が住んでいるところに行ったことです。すごく、楽しい時間をね過ごさせてもらったわけですけれども、その旅が旅として成り立つためには3つの要素があるんですよと聞かせていただきました。まず1つ目に目的です。人が旅をするには目的があるんですね。というのも、私は観光をする、これをする用事があるとかね、こんなことを学んでみたいとか、学習の目的などね、さまざまな目的を持って私たちは移動します。それに向けて、行き先が決まってくると思います。例えばこの私が先日愛知県の西尾市に行ったのは、妹を訪ねて、そして、妹がね子供を産んだので、その姪っ子のねお世話も兼ねて、の旅だった目的だったわけです。それがもうメインだとしたら、もう一つはですね、妹の旦那さんがですね、東京に 2,3 日出張だから、その間に旦那さんがいる間だったらできないことを、ね、しましょう。本当に育児一生懸命頑張ってるから楽しいことをしようよということでね、私行きまして、一緒にいろいろなことをしたわけです。妹が何がしたいかって言いましたら、私バイキングに行きたいって言い出したんですね。というのも、妹はいろんなねたくさんのご飯があって、好きなものを取ってお得に食べられる、お得を感じるのが大好き、ね、 質より量を取るようなもので、私も好きそうなんですけど。でね、旦那さんはね、反対で、量より質、おいしいものはちょっとでいいんだよっていうようなタイプでしてね、そういう面でお二人は正反対ですから、妹がどんなに「今日ここバイキング行かない?」って言ってもね、また今度ねっていうふうに言われるそうなんです。だから旦那さんがいないこの時に、ね一緒に行きましょうということで、串カツ屋に行って好きな分だけお野菜やお肉を取って好きな分だけ自分が食べたい分だけあげて食べるということをねさせてもらいました。で非常に満足して、過ごしてくれたようでした。もう一つ、旅を旅として成り立たせてくれる要素2つ目、帰る場所があるということです。帰る場所があるということ。そしてこれに2つ目の帰る場所があるということに付随しているので、3つ目も一緒に紹介しますと、3つ目は一時的な移動があるということです。旅には目的があって、そしてその目的を終えてしまったら、一定期間を過ぎたらまた元来た場所に戻る、家だったりホテルだったりね、そんなところに戻っていく、または別の場所へ移動していくということが想定されます。ですからこの帰っていく、戻っていく、一時的な移動があるということがつきものです。これでもし私がね、愛知に2、3日過ごした後、今度は行き先もなくさまようとしたら、行き場もなく帰る場所もなくさまようとしたら、それは今度は旅というよりかは放浪になってしまうんですね。放浪と言いますと、なんだか冒険感があってね、楽しそうでちょっと憧れるような感じですけれども、この放浪というのは先ほど挙げた3つの要素とはちょうど反対の要素を持っているようで、まず放浪というのには行く当ても決めてません、目的も決めてませんので、1番の目的がないということ、2番帰る場所がないということです、目的も決めなければ行って帰ってくるところもない、行くところがないからもう自由。今度はどうかっていうと、この一時的な移動というよりかは今度は、自由な移動になってしまう。その場その場の自由な移動になる。自由な移動と聞くとね、なんだかいいなっていうふうに思うんですけど、これは期間を決めていたとしたらね楽しいけれども、期間を決めずにどこに行ったらいいかさまようとしたらですね、もう疲れてしまうんじゃないかな、しんどいんじゃないかなと思います。やっぱり旅行は期間を決めて目的を決めていくから、疲れない、疲れるかもしれないけどね、楽しいと思います。旅行が楽しいのはやっぱり温泉旅行としたらね、温泉旅行が楽しいのは温泉に行くっていう目標があって、そして旅が終わったら帰るところがちゃんとあるからだと思うんです。お土産を買って楽しいことをしておいしいものをして食べて帰ってきたって疲れたって帰ってきて、やっぱりお家が一番だってホッとできるところがあるから旅行が楽しいんだと思います。例えば温泉地に来たとしても、自宅が火事で燃えているんだよって連絡が来たとしたら、もう心配でたまらないはずです。旅行というのは非現実を楽しむものですから、もう帰るところがもうあるかないかわからないままにね、現実がきちんと定まらないままに旅行に来るというのはなかなか安心して楽しめないんじゃないかなというふうに私は思います。さっき人生は旅に例えられると言いましたけれども、今度はこのさっきの要素、ご自身の身に引き寄せて考えていただけたらなというふうに思います。まず第一に目的、皆さんはどうでしょうか。この今私として生きていることに、この人生に目的があるのか、人生に目的があるのかって聞かれた時に、そりゃあるわよ、 仕事をするために、お金を稼ぐために、楽しいことをするために、いろんなそれぞれに目的を持って、それぞれに、自分の命を燃やして生きてこられることだと思います。そしてでもどんなに頑張って積み上げたことであっても、私たちのこの命の終わりには死んでいかないといけない。命終わっていくという事実がある。じゃあ何のために生きているんだろうか。どこに向かって生きているんだろうか。これがはっきりしないまま生きているとしたら、これはそれほどなんだか不安なものではない、不安なことはないかなというふうに思います。じゃあ2つ目の帰る場所、どうでしょうか。今こうして、皆さんどうか分かりませんが、お寺からこちらに来て、お家からお寺に来てくださっていることだと思いますけれども、やっぱりお家があるという方がおられると思う。物理的に家があってたとしてもですね、精神的にそんなに居心地が良くないっておっしゃる、そういうお家にもね、お家にお住まいの方もおられるかもしれません。そういう居心地の悪いところに帰ったとしてもね、本当の意味で心は安らかじゃないし、楽しくないかもしれない。だからこそ私たちは居場所をね、探して、そこから離れて目の前の快楽だったり楽しみを求めたり、私を受け止めてくれる出会いを求めてさまよっていくのかもしれません。私たちの皆さんの人生は旅でしょうか、放浪でしょうか、どっちもいいかもしれない。旅の真っ只中っていう方もいるかもしれませんし、さっき聞いて放浪かもしれないなっていう方もいるかもしれません。どっちがいい悪いということを言っているのではありません。旅の途中で、全てなくしてしまって放浪になってしまう人もいるかもしれないし、放浪だった途中でたった一つの大切な出会いで帰る場所を得て大事なご縁となる方だっています。大事なのは私の人生にとってどうかなって、その歩みの中で自分に問うてみることかなというふうに思います。人間の価値観の物差しでは、測るのに、このことを測っていくのに、偏りがあるし限界があります。だから私たちは折に触れて仏様の知恵の光を持って照らして見せていただくことで、自分の姿を見せていただくことで、本当の意味での自分の姿、本当の意味での物事をその物事として明らかに見ていける、そして受け止めさせていただくことができるんですね。さて、旅だと思って、始めたこの歩みに必要なのは目的、そして帰るところと申し上げましたけれども、もちろんこの道中ではね、現在地っていうのを確認することも大事なことだと思います。現在地が分かることでどっちに進んでいくのかっていうのが分かってきますよね。逆に立派な地図があっても現在地が分かっていなかったら、その地図は役には立たないと思います。今日はお彼岸ということでお話をしていますけれども、浄土真宗ではこのあなたの命の旅っていう旅の目的地はどうか彼岸だと思ってください。光り輝く悟りの仏の世界と思ってくださいよと、この阿弥陀様っていう仏様は願ってくださっていますよと、仏教のね教えを伝えてくださったお釈迦様は教えてくださっています。仮に阿弥陀様が願ってくださっているように、このお浄土という世界が私の命の目的地として見ますとね、今この私が生きている現在地っていうのは何かっていうとね、お彼岸に返し、かの岸と書いてね、彼岸に対してこの岸と書いて志願と言います。ちょっと字が潰れちゃってごめんなさい。志願と彼岸と言いますけれども、ここが私の 現在地なんですよっていうことです。彼岸が仏様の世界、志願が何かこの世界ですが、もうちょっと身近な言葉で言うとシャバ世界、シャバ世界ですね。それをもうちょっと別の言葉で言うと堪忍度とも言われます。耐え忍んでいく世界でありますと。なんでこんなことを経験しないといけないの、なんでこんな思うようにいかないのとね、悲しみだったり苦しみだったり、時には怒りでいっぱいの世界、それがシャバ、堪忍度、私が住んでいる世界ですよ。それは私にとってはこの世界が悪い、あいつが悪いっていうふうに思うかもしれないけれども、そうじゃない。それを作り出しておるのはこの私ですよっていうふうにね、聞かせていただきます。物事を自分の都合でしか、自分の中心でしか見ることができないこの眼で物事を好き嫌いと振り分けていく。自分の思うようにいかないと腹を立てて怒る心があって、自分の好きなものはね、寄せ集めてもっともっとと貪る心、これをこの中に永遠に持っている限りはね、自分で作り出している、苦しみでもがいて生きていくわけなんです。そして自分の力でこの苦しみをね、超えていくことができないから、何度も何度も同じところをぐるぐるぐるぐるへめぐって回っている。これを迷いというふうに教えてくださいます。と言ってもそんなことないよって思うじゃないですか。迷いというのは、迷っている人というのはね、自分が迷っていることを気づかない、だそうです。ですからね、迷ってないって思っている方はね、実は迷っている、そんなものなんですね。親鸞上人はそうやって私たちはこの今生きている命だけじゃなくて、その前の命もその前の命もそうやって繰り返して生きてきてるんだよっていうふうにね、教えてくださっています。親鸞上人は、お歌の中で生死の苦海ほとりなし、虚しく沈める我らをば、御陀偶勢の船の水を乗せて必ず渡しけるというふうに書いてくださっています。生死というのは生き死にというふうに書きますけれどもね、ここではさっき言ったように、私の物事をきちんと見ることができない、この苦しみ、この迷いをね、迷いと思わずに背負っているその姿っていうのはですね、その深さというのは海のように深いんだよっていうふうに教えてくださっている。それはほとりがなくて、岸がなくて、霧がなくて終わりがないんだよって。自分の好き嫌いなものは押しのけて、自分が好きなものはがむしゃらに飛びついて手に入れようとするけれども、それらは手に入れても吸い通るものじゃなかった。これは何のための人生だったんだって、自分で起こす波に何度も何度も覚えて、その迷いにね、迷いの海に深く沈んでしまっているのが私ですよというふうにね、お歌の中で教えてくださっている。まさに私の命というのはどこに向かっていくのかわからない、目的もわからないまま、目的地も告げられないまま生まれてきて、そして帰っていくよりどころもね、わからないまま歩んでいる、そういう旅というか放浪のような、命をね、へめぐってきているというふうに聞かせていただいているわけです。その放浪の命の歴史をずっとご覧になってくださっていたのがこの阿弥陀様という仏様です。正確には仏様になる前の法蔵菩薩というね、修行者の時代からずっと私の姿をご覧になってくださっていたわけです。その私の迷いの放浪の姿を終わらせてやりたい、この者の命を安らかにが帰っていける、そういう世界を作ってやりたいと、それができる仏に私はなってみせるんだって、この私の命の問題を仏様の方で引き受けてくださいました。迷いの命をそのままに引き受けて、 仏に生まれさせるお浄土を完成させる。それを全ての命の上でもっておいて実現されなかったら、私は仏にならないって誓ってね、途方もなく長い時間をかけて考えて修行を重ねて、その誓いはね、具体的な働きとなって完成させられました。それが私の唱える何万打仏となってね、私たちに振り向けてくださっているわけです。あなたの人生のあなたの住む目的を用意しましたよ。あなたは真っ暗闇に進んでいくんじゃない。光り輝く浄土に仏として生まれていくのだよ。そこをあなたの拠り所として歩んでいきなさいと、私の人生に目的と帰るところをご用意くださった。それが仕上がっておるよ。今ここに仕上がっておるよと私に告げてくださっとるのが南無阿弥陀仏です。仏様が直々にこの命に告げてくださって、この命にね、届いてくださっている。皆さんそれぞれお家をお持ちだと思いますけれども、お家、家というとね、場所的な観点とね、気持ち的な観点とでまた違ってくると思うんですね。英語で言うとも顕著ですよね。ハウスとホームで、ね、また言葉でニュアンスが違ってきますね。荷物を置いたり寝たり料理をしたりね、生活をする機能的な場所として、ハウスとか、ホームとも言うかもしれません。ハウスが多いかな。家族とか、大事な方が迎えてくれる精神的な支えをね、重視するところとしたら、もうちょっとホームっていう風になるかなっていう風に思います。外で仕事をして学校でね頑張ってきて、一日頑張ってきて疲れて帰ってきても、かっこ悪い姿を見せていたとしてもね、どっか行けって言われないで、それも含めて、かっこ悪いあなたを含めて、弱いあなたを含めても、あなただものねって受け止めてもらえるくれる場所っていうのがまたホームでもあると思う。またそれは場所を問わないですね。そういう方が一人でもいてくれたら、家と感じられるような雰囲気を持っている方だとしたらね、なんだかホッとできる、その人の前ではねできるんじゃないかなと思います。知らない人、周りは知らない人ばっかりでね、なんだか気まずい場所でやったとしても、たった一人でも私のことを知ってくれていて、心配してくれて、味方だと言ってくれる、そう思えるようなね方が一人でもいてくれたらね、その場所はね、これより本当に心強いことはないかなというふうに思うんです。ハウスというのは自分一人でも完結できるかもしれないですけれどもね、ホームと言えるのは、これは誰かがお帰りって言ってくれたり、受け止めてくれたりっていうね、関係性がちょっと絡んでくることかと思います。ホームと思わせてくれるようなお心があるというところがホームかなと思います。私事ですけれども、私の母はですね、今はリタイアしてますけれども、10年前ですね、退職する前までは小学校の養護教諭をずっと勤めていました。要するに保健室の先生なんですけど、この島根県の大田市の市内のね、小学校中学校の保健室で勤めていまして、よく学校が休みの日にはね、母の用事で保健室に、母の用事で母の保健室にもね行ったりしたことあったんですけども、私の学校の保健室は綺麗なんですね。結構ねすっきりしていて、清潔だけど、母はね実はあんまり片付けが得意じゃなくて、結構そうなんですね、恥ずかしながら。それで私たち子供が使い古したお風呂のぬいぐるみだったり絵本をですね、母の保健室には飾ってあったり置いてあったりして、子供たちが体のことを分かるようにと 手作りで作った掲示物が壁に貼ってあったりとね、結構ごちゃごちゃした保健室、実家感があるそういう保健室なわけなんです。私にとってはなんだか保健室っていうのは、学生の時は体調が悪い時に休む場所、そんな特別な病院、医務室のようなところが学校にある、そういうことかなっていうふうに思ってました。学校はだからその学校はね、勉強するところだから、母がやっている保健室の重要性っていうことがあんまり分かってませんでした。ただ怪我を治したり休むところを監督する人かなと思ってました。でも私ね、実はこれでも教員免許を持ってまして、学校の先生の資格を持ってまして、学生の時にそのね、いろいろ教育実習とかの前に授業を受けるんですけど、授業で保健室の重要性についても聞いたことがあります。勉強したことがあります。本来この日本における保健室ですけれども、保健室っていうのは体調が悪い時だけじゃなくて、子どもたちが心がしんどいって思う時でもね、気軽によって休んで、また元気を取り戻して教室に戻っていくためにもね、すごく大事な役割があるんだよと教えてもらいました。また子どもの言葉にならない SOS に先に大人が気づいて、子どもを守っていくためにも大事な場所なんだというふうにも聞かせていただきました。家でいるね、母の姿でしか見たことがなかったんですけども、たまに母がね、自分が養護教諭だった頃の経験を話してくれることがあります。ある日私がそういえばお母さんの保健室って普通の私が行っていた学校の保健室と比べてごちゃごちゃしてたよねって言ったことがありました。すると母が言うには、それは全部意図があるんだって言っていました。実際こうね、治療が必要な時だけじゃなくって、普段から来やすい雰囲気を作るっていうのも大事な保健室の役割なんだよ。だからいつもオープンにしてるよっていうことをですね、子供に伝えるためにも、自分の得意なね、クラフトをしながらとか、言いやすいようにぬいぐるみを置いたりとか、絵本を置いたりっていうのをしていたんだそうです。子供たちの中にも最初は人間関係に悩んで、本当に学校に行きたくないって言いながらもね、保健室にすら行きたくないっていう方もいたみたいですけども、その中でも少しずつ教室と保健室を行き来しながら、時には保健室で長い時間を過ごしたこともあったけども、少しずつ教室に行く勇気をね、元気を取り戻しながら学校を卒業していったっていう方もね、いらっしゃるようです。やっぱり子どもは成長の途中ですから、心身ともに問題を抱えていく。それはたまに家族の問題もあります。誰にも言えないで孤独を感じて孤立してしまうこともある。そうならないためにね、大人が先回ってサポートする必要があります。言葉にならない SOS もあるかもしれない。重たい気持ちを背負ったまんまで、であっても気張らずに気軽に寄れる居場所があるように、母なりにそうやって居やすい雰囲気を作っていたんだなっていうふうに今なら感じます。これから先ね、子どもたちが出ていく社会っていうのは、世間っていうのは、辛くなったらちょっと立ち止まって休んで相談して元気を取り戻していくための保健室のようなところっていうのはね、残念ながらありません。世間でいろんな方と関わっていく中で大きな喜びもあるかもしれないし、でも時には失敗して落ち込んだり、誰かの言葉で傷つくこともあるかもしれない。その中にあってもなかなか その弱さをさらけ出すところっていうのはありません。ないかもしれない。悔しさとか寂しさをね飲み込んで頑張っていかないといけない、頑張っていかないといけない、そんな世間かもしれない。でもその中であってもボロボロに疲れた私を、悲しい私を、苦しい私を、しんどかったね、よう頑張ったねって受け止めてくれる方がいてくださったりね、そんな心に触れたりすることが触れたりするときはね、きっと大きな安心になっていくんだろうなって思います。そんなよりどころとなる場所や人との出会いがこの人生にもあると、今を生きる大きなね支えになっていきます。あなたにとっての、ね、皆さんお一人一人にとってのその命のよりどころとなる阿弥陀がここにいるからね、その仏はね探さなくてももうここにいるよ。何万打仏の響きとなって私たち一人一人の命の上に先に届いてくださっています。今届いてくださっている。私の方からね仏様を求めて探していくんじゃない。仏様の方から先に届いてくれている。光と命が無限の仏様、阿弥陀様は今だけじゃなくて迷い込んでしまって迷い沈んでいた私の無限の過去から、そしてこれから先のね未来も丸ごと照らし、どの瞬間の私も抱いてくださるお悟りの仏様です。その仏様がこの私の命の上にご一緒だから、進んでいく道を迷っていく心配もない、帰っていくところがないと嘆く心配もない。これが南無阿弥陀仏の仏様とご一緒の旅だからなんですね。お彼岸をご縁に私の命の目的と帰る場所、ホームとして今この私のこの今を大事に支えてくださっているお浄土の働き、お心を、仏様のお心を本日は大切にお聞かせいただきました。寛容は蓮如上人の、書かれましたご文章で締めさせていただきます。小日一流のご関係の趣は新人のもって御とせられ候、そのゆえはもろもろの造業を投げ捨てて一心に御陀に奇妙すれば、不可思議の眼力として仏の方より往生は事情せしめたも、そのくらいを一年発起入賞上始終と申釈し、その上の称名念ブッダ如来我が往生を定めたまいし、ご恩法人の念仏と心べきなり、アナカシコ南蛮仏だ。ありがとうございました。ねこれからきっとホリデーシーズンに入っていくんですかね。来月はハロウィンがあったりとかサンクスギビングとかあったりとかね、家族で集まるような時期が続いていくと思います。またちょっと寒くなったりのね時期も始まってくると思いますけれども、くれぐれも皆様におかれましてはお体大事にしていただければと思います。はい、では本日はようこそお参りくださいました。
you were counting,